on what it is that you need to complete in order to receive a standard high school diploma in the state of Florida. First of all, you need 4 credits of English, 1 credit, 1 year, 1 credit for each year you're in high school. You do need to complete 4 math credits. 1 must be Algebra 1. 1 must be geometry. Those are 2 must-haves. After that, most college-bound students will hit the Algebra 2 and then either the pre-calculus or the math for college readiness. Or for our students that are not university-bound, they might choose to do the math for college readiness or Algebra 2, and then the liberal arts math. So just depending on your track, what your plans are after high school will determine what your math sequence will be. You do need to earn 3 credits of science. 1 must include biology. All of the sciences that we offer here through Lee Virtual School will meet your science requirement. Although 3 science credits is the requirement for your diploma, please know that state universities, scholarships, things, it does look good for you if you have that 4th year of a science. The more academic units that you have on your transcript, the better for you. We need 3 social sciences. So we need a full year of world history, which is typically taken in the 9th or 10th grade year. US history, which our students will sometimes take in the sophomore or typically the junior year, and then government and econ. Those are semester senior courses typically out in the brick and mortar world. Sometimes our students knock that out in their junior year, especially if they're in US history this year. 1 performing or fine practical art. That's kind of the kicker. Sometimes students will get to their senior year and realize that they haven't taken the fine or practical art. In the 9th grade, usually digital infotech will meet that requirement. We do have creative photography that will meet that requirement. I do try to note which classes will meet that requirement when I send out the course selection link at the beginning of the school years or the beginning of the semesters. You need 1 credit of hope, and then the 8 elective credits, which will get you to 24 credits. So you have 6 classes each year that earns you 6 credits each year. So do you need a foreign language to graduate from high school? You will notice that a foreign language is not a graduation requirement. It's not necessary to receive your diploma. However, if you want to attend Florida Gulf Coast University after you graduate from high school, for example, or any state university, Florida State, UCF, you will need to have a minimum of 2 years of the same language on your transcript. That is also required for the Bright Future Scholarship, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you do not need to have it to graduate from high school. But again, if you do plan on trying to attend a state university right out of high school, you will need to have 2 years of a minimum of 2 years of the same language on your sketch, on your transcript. Okay, so along with the 24 credits, you do have some testing requirements. The first one is the Algebra EOC, which most of you will sit for in the 9th or 10th grade year as soon as you take your algebra class, and you must pass that test. And then in the 10th grade, the spring of your 10th grade year, you'll sit for the 10th grade FSA reading test, and that is a requirement for graduation as well. You do have to have a minimum of a 2.0 or a C average unweighted in order to receive your diploma. Grading system, I'm sure you guys are all pretty familiar with this. I just want to explain to you how your GPA works. For every A that you earn, that averages into a 4.0, B, 3.0, etc. If you are taking an honors class, or you start taking dual enrollment or AP classes, do know that you will receive a weighted credit for taking those more challenging courses. So that's why at graduation, sometime you hear the top student has like a 5.4 GPA. That's because of all the honors and dual enrollment courses that they've taken. So you do get on added per semester 0.02 for honors and a 0.04 for dual enrollment or any AP courses to your weighted credit. Going back to the test scores, this slide should have been up. Okay, so once you take the algebra EOC, you do have multiple opportunities to get the test score that you need before you graduate from high school. The algebra cut score for the passing EOC is a 497. If you choose to sit for the PSAT, if you did not sit for the algebra EOC last spring due to COVID, you weren't able to come in this retake session, do know that we will be having the PSAT coming up here October 13th. You should have received an email to register for that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. For the SAT, the reading section you would need to have for the concordant is a 420. And on the ACT, that's a 16 on the reading and writing section. So that most students will take and pass the test in the 10th grade or at the end of the 10th grade. But when we have transfer students coming in, juniors, seniors, if they have an SAT or ACT score, we can use that for their diploma. For students who took the Algebra 1 in the 2021 school year, you did not have to take the EOC. Nobody took the EOC, but if you did sit for the geometry EOC last spring and passed that geometry EOC, then your algebra EOC is waived. So there are concordance scores for the 10th grade FSA test for your diploma as well. If you don't earn a 350 on the FSA in the 10th grade, then you can earn a 480 on the SAT or an 18 on the ACT, and that will waive that FSA score for you. So there are multiple opportunities. You have multiple testing opportunities. We try to get you in for every session that we have available for these graduation tests. Now, some of you may have received emails inviting you to take a biology EOC or the geometry EOC if you had that last year. That is not mandatory. Just so you know, you are welcome to come, you're invited to come, but the only EOC that you must have is the algebra EOC and then the 10th grade FSA, which none of you have taken yet. You sophomores will take here in the spring, and you 9th graders have this year and next year to prepare for that test. So those are the graduation requirements. I guess let me stop right there. If you do the 18 credit option, so the 18 credit option is exactly the same as the 24, except you don't need as many elective credits. You don't need the HOPE credit, but you do need to meet all of the other required courses along with the test scores. Received an email. Can I access that? What about ACE classes? We don't offer ACE classes, and you should have received a PSAT email to register. If you want to shoot me an email later today, I'll be happy to share that link with you. Are there any other questions regarding graduation requirements? Okay, good question. So if you took a high school course in middle school, you do not have to retake that course. In fact, many of you on your academic histories took electives in middle school, maybe HOPE, maybe a Spanish. Some of you took Algebra 1. So yes, if you took any high school courses while you were in middle school, you will have an academic history. So a lot of you 9th graders, you don't have an academic history because you haven't started your high school career yet. But if you did do a course in the middle school that counted for high school, that started your GPA, I did shoot to you a copy of your academic history. So if you don't take the biology EOC, no, that won't affect your college. You already have your biology credit. So in most years, you need to do biology semester 1, biology semester 2, and the EOC to get your credit. Because the EOC was waived, you don't have to sit for that biology EOC. You already have that grade, you already have that credit. So it's not necessary. If you want to come in and sit for that test, you're more than welcome to, but it's not necessary. Okay, I'm gonna go on here. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the academic histories. I've put a couple copies on here, and I'm afraid that, you know, I've been using these for years and years because it's just a good visual. It's easy to read for students. So hopefully you can see this here. This is just a sample academic history of a student who graduated last school year. So the way that the academic history is broken up is by subject area. So a transcript that goes to colleges will be broken up by school year. I like this because you can kind of see exactly where your English credits are, where your math credits are, etc. It kind of breaks it down easy for you. So you can see, obviously, you're going to begin your high school transcript in the year that you begin your high school career, beginning with English 1, semester 2, going down through the math. So you guys can kind of see where you are, what you have taken, what you have earned credit for. Some of you might be missing a Florida virtual class. I don't know, maybe you took a summer class in Florida virtual between your 7th and 8th grade year or this past summer, and somehow it was missed. Maybe you're a transfer student, and when I took your transcripts and transferred them to our system, maybe something was left off. So I do like to share this with you as often as I can, just to keep you on track with what you have earned and what you need to accomplish. This academic history only updates twice a year. Once at the end of the first semester, and then again at the end of the second semester. If you scroll down to the bottom here, you will see your total number of credits to date, and then the total credits needed. So obviously we want to get all of those columns under needed to the zero, to the number 0. We want to count them down, make sure that you're checking off. You've got your 4 credits of language arts, your 4 credits of math, your fine art credit, etc. So this is the total amount of credits. Don't worry so much about the electives. You can't really get to your diploma without getting those elective credits. Those aren't such a big concern as are the required courses that you need for graduation. So over here on the right-hand side, on the bottom of your academic history, you will see your current weighted GPA and your unweighted GPA. You will only have a weighted GPA if you have taken honors and or DE or AP classes. Okay, so, and then here at the bottom, we do have some test results. Now the PERT was a test that we used up until last school year. The PERT is no longer being used within the school district. If you choose to sit for the PSAT, or once you do sit for an SAT or ACT, your test scores will be posted down here. If you go back up to the top of the academic history, on the top right hand across from your name, you will see where the FSA reading score will be posted and the algebra score. If you don't see anything there, that means you've not taken those tests. Again, the FSA reading and the EOC algebra are the ones that you really want to make sure are completed. If you are in geometry this year, if you're in biology this year, you will be expected to come in and sit for the EOC and the FSA in the springtime. Okay, questions about your academic history? You guys may have some individual questions you want to discuss or ask, and that's fine. You can contact me later on this week, and I'll be happy to go over and discuss and talk with you about your academic history individually. Okay. And Kai, again, just going back to the classes you took in middle school, as long as they were high school credit classes, you do not need to retake it. But if it was the middle school creative photography, then you would have to retake it. Okay. So, okay, so that's your academic history, guys. Again, if you don't have an academic history, if I did not send one to you, it's because you don't have any grade yet. You haven't earned any high school credit yet, or perhaps you're brand new into the district and I have not received your records from the previous school. So again, I will be sharing these histories, and I don't know if it will look exactly like this. I hope it will look similar, but we are changing systems to a new program. So I'm not quite sure what they'll look like, but I will always have them available for any time that you would like a copy. Okay, so moving on to the Bright Future Scholarship, I just want to make sure you guys are aware, for those students that do plan on attending college or university, the Bright Future Scholarship is a scholarship for students in the state of Florida that want to stay in school in the state of Florida. If you qualify for this scholarship, you can apply in October of your senior year. However, you won't meet the criteria. You can keep trying to get the test score that you need. You can continue working on your service hours until I want to say probably June of the summer after your senior year. So be aware of this now so you can start working and trying to achieve this. The top scholarship, the academic scholarship, you need a 3.5 core GPA. So they're looking just at your academic units. They're not looking at your electives, your ROTC or your arts or bands. So if you do have 4 credits of science your senior year, and say one science you made a C in physics, they'll drop that lower grade and take the 3 higher grades of your GPA. And you will see that two languages, a minimum of 2 languages are required for this scholarship as well. So the academic scholarship is a 3.5 GPA. You'll see the SAT score is a 1330 and the ACT combined score is a 29. You do have to have 100 service hours in order to get that scholarship. Guys, that's 100% of your tuition paid for at Florida Gulf Coast University, say, or at University of Central Florida, or at Florida Southwestern State College. That is 100% of your tuition at a state public school. So not the University of Miami, not the University of Tampa, those are private schools, and they do not honor this for 100%. So this is for the state public schools in Florida, and these are the requirements. For the Medallion Scholarship, the GPA goes down to a 3.0. The test scores are a little bit lower. You'll need a 25 combined ACT and a 1210 combined SAT for your test scores. And again, you have until the spring of your senior year to shoot for these scores and to earn your community service hours. And so the Florida Medallion is about, I want to say maybe 75% of your tuition paid for. And again, those are requirements are right there just so that you are aware. So community service is not a requirement to graduate from high school. I get that question a lot. I think maybe in some states or district it is. It is not a requirement to graduate and receive your diploma. However, to qualify for the Bright Future Scholarship, and also maybe for other scholarships that are out there, they will want to see that you chose a project or projects to get involved with and to try and make a difference. So you may do community service hours just for yourself to build your own resume. Maybe you want to go into the medical field and you are interested in working in a pediatrician's office and volunteering. You can certainly do that and track your hours. However, it won't count for the Bright Future Scholarship. United Way is a great opportunity. So let me share this link with you. This is, just so you know, and you can see this, this is the document before you get started doing any community service hours for the Bright Future Scholarship. You will need to access this document, which has the guidelines for you of what is considered appropriate and what is not. So you're supposed to require prior approval from me on whether or not that this is going to count specifically for the Bright Future Scholarship. The student is required to identify a social, civic, or professional area of interest. Once you do that, here's the agreement, and you just need to complete. The Humane Society will allow so-and-so to donate service hours. We have your signature, your parent guardian signature, the person who you're going to be doing the community service hours, who will be supervising you, the address of the location or the place, it doesn't really matter. And then of course my signature to approve it. A lot of times kids will do community service hours through their church and things. And unfortunately, that doesn't count. So here is the second piece of the volunteer for the Bright Futures, and that is just a service proposal. And basically you just need to write a paragraph. What do you hope to get out of this? What are your goals? What are you doing? And then I'll put that on file. Everybody will get that signed. And then when it's all said and done, and you're ready to submit your logged hours to me, you'll need to do a final reflection. And again, it can just be, just a little paragraph. I've had kids turn in like a mini yearbook to me. You don't have to get that creative. I'm the only one that's going to be looking at this. So please, it's not as hard as it seems. So just reach out if you have any questions. It does need to be for non-for-profit. The holidays are coming up here pretty soon. So now would be a good time to try and contact, maybe the food banks, Salvation Army, United Way, those kinds of things. So once you do identify what you want to do for your service hours and you start your plan, you just simply need to, you have two options. You can keep a log like I have up here, and just the date every day that you go in, log the times that you began and you started, and you can submit this to me at the end. Or your organization can write a letter on letterhead and say between August and December of 2021, so-and-so contributed X amount of hours, and then I can log that in for you also. So some of you may do more than one, and then we would just need one for each organization that you do, okay? So if you ever need this, this will be on our school website. Before you begin, please do check with me and make sure that the service that you want to do will in fact count for the Bright Futures. Otherwise, you can do community service wherever you'd like for your own resume. And of course, just keep track of that, especially if you begin now in the 9th grade. It's going to be really hard to remember in your 12th grade year. So set up a folder, just your high school important documents, and just keep everything, passwords, those kinds of things. So when you do get to your senior year and you're completing college applications and they're asking you, what have you done in your high school career? It'll all be in one easy place for you to access. Okay, so just going over, okay, Bright Futures again require prior approval from me just to make sure that it will meet the criteria for the Bright Futures Scholarship. I know times are tough, especially with COVID now. getting in and finding places face to face. But if you do have a plan and it doesn't work out, you know, I don't know what will happen 4 years from now, but I do know last school year, the senior class, as long as they had a plan on file and they attempted to do the service hours, they were able to receive the hours, whether they were able to complete them or not. So again, any non-for-profit will count for the Bright Future Scholarship, United Way, the Humane Society, those things. So, okay, PSAT is coming up. It is free for the 10th grade students. You should have received an email regarding the date and a link to sign up. It will be first come, first serve. We do have limited seating. So this is just a practice SAT. It's the SAT, but it's a practice test. It will give you a baseline. It will give you a flavor of what the test is about. It is only given once a year in October. Many students choose to take it in the 10th grade because it's free and it's an opportunity just to kind of see what it's all about. Again, get a baseline, see what your score would be. You get a really cool score report back that has all the questions of the test, which ones you got correct, which ones you missed, and you can actually log in, create a Khan Academy account and do some test remediation. So it's a really good resource for those students that want to use it to prep, to do some test prep for the real SAT, which will count for your college admissions, your Bright Futures, any scholarships, things like that. So juniors will take it, the high flying, high achieving juniors that want to go for some scholarship money. If you do really well in your junior year, you could potentially qualify as a national merit semifinalist or finalist. If you did not receive a link, send me an email and I'll be happy to share that with you. Again, that will be Wednesday, October 13th. I want to say we'll be starting like 8 a.m. in the morning. Again, for the 10th graders, it's free. For 9th grade, I wouldn't really recommend that you take it this year. I would just definitely consider taking it, coming in and sitting for it in your sophomore year when it's free. Correct. If you score that, you can take the PSAT, you sophomores, if you have not sat for the algebra EOC or the geometry EOC, and you want to come in and take this one-day test. Again, for sophomores, it's free. So sign up, come on in. And for freshmen, it's not really necessary. You'll have opportunities to take the algebra EOC throughout this year, and then you can sit for it your sophomore year for free. If you want to pay for it, you're more than welcome to take it now, but it's really not necessary. If you didn't receive the email with the link to register, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to send that to you. Again, it's first come, first serve. So if you do want to take it, make sure you sign up so we get you a spot. Okay, so that will lead me into the SAT and the ACT, and I see there's a question. So I recommend that students typically begin the SAT in their junior year. You have multiple opportunities every school year to sit for the SAT and for the ACT. So these tests are given out at local high schools. You need to register, you need to pay the fee, you need to upload a picture of yourself, print out your test ticket and report to that high school on that testing date. You'll see that there are registration deadlines. So you need to register by October 8th if you want to sit for the November 6th test. So I would really say your junior year, especially if you took the PSAT in your sophomore year, or if you come in and take the PSAT in your junior year, you'll get your results back and can start prepping for any time in the second semester of your junior year. And then you have your senior year to continue to try and test to get the score that you need. You might like the SAT. Some of you might prefer the ACT. So again, the ACT is a college entrance exam. It's used for Bright Future Scholarship. It's given multiple times throughout the school year. They do have a registration deadline. You go to their testing site, you choose the date that you want to test. It will give you your options of local high schools nearest to you that are offering the test on that test date. And then again, you upload your picture, you print your ticket, and make sure that you show up early on those days of testing. So you can retake the SAT and ACT as many times as you would like. Typically after about the third time, unless you're doing some real hardcore test prep, your scores won't change that much. Definitely, you know, after the first time, you kind of get a feel for the test, you know what it's like. You might try the SAT and the ACT your junior year and decide that you really like the ACT, you're just going to stick with that one, or vice versa. So you can choose either test. You can take multiple tests. Most of my students will pretty much hone in on one, whichever one they prefer, and just really focus on that test prep to get the score that they need. Okay, so again, for the 9th and 10th grade, not so much to worry about the SAT and ACT right now. The PSAT is a good idea in the 10th grade for sure. It's a good practice on the SAT. Again, give you kind of a flavor what it's all about and a baseline. So I would take advantage of that as a sophomore. And then in your junior year, I always post the SAT and ACT dates and the deadlines for each school year. So just know they are available multiple times throughout the year. We do not do that here at Lee Virtual. You would need to register through the website, act.org. Or through the college board to schedule your date, your Saturday date and time to show up and take that test your junior, senior year. Okay, so I just want to talk and let you guys know a little bit of your options in high school as you move on through the years. If you play your cards right, dual enrollment is an excellent opportunity. That is when high school students take advantage of post-secondary classes or credits. So it can be through the technical colleges. Cape Coral Tech has some great dual enrollment programs. They've got medical assisting, medical administrative specialist, digital design, electronic technology. The Fort Myers Tech has electricity, air conditioning, repair, all kinds of cool programs. So do know that you can access those classes. Certain programs are not available to high school students. Most of them are. But in order to meet the requirement to become a dual enrollment student at one of the tech schools, you do need to have the majority of your graduation requirements complete and out of the way. So that when you do go out to the technical college, you're then working on hours and you'll be in your program all day. So in order to do that, we would definitely need to start planning early. And I do appreciate those families that do know that this is what they want their student to do, and that is the goal, and we make it happen. We've got plenty of time to plan, get those classes in so that when they do attend the tech center in their senior year in welding, for example, they are full in on that welding program and don't need to worry about also doing English for government, econ, or math, and can get as many hours in that program before graduation. Again, it's covered, it's paid for by the district. So it's a great opportunity. So do know that the technical schools do have programs that in your senior year you can take advantage of. So if that's something you're interested in, let's start talking about that now so we can begin planning that and get you set up. Those programs do fill up very, very, very quickly. So we would definitely want to get you in there and get all the paperwork, all the testing, everything that needs to be done as early as possible. Most of our students will take dual enrollment courses through the local state college, Florida Southwestern, and that is a wonderful, wonderful program. Many students are shooting for their AA degree. It's easy enough for me to help you meet your high school requirements through your college, but once you start getting those hours up, you're definitely going to want to meet with your advisor out at FSW. So there are certain criteria. You do have to have a minimum grade point average, unweighted. You do have to earn some test scores. I will be doing a dual enrollment information session on Wednesday, September 29th, and we'll talk more about the pros and cons in dual enrollment, what it's all about. But do know the first step, obviously, is to apply. They have a great site here at fsw.edu. If you just do /dual enrollment, you can click on the student links here, and Dr. Stirk has made it pretty easy for you to follow these steps. So the first step is to apply. Once you get your ID number, your Buck ID, if you don't have any test scores, which most students don't, we'll get you scheduled to take the AccuPlacer. You can choose to do that in person or remotely. And then you're going to need to complete the pathways, the accelerated pathways orientation, which just goes over things like, as a dual enrollment student, there's different rules. You're not considered a true college student. So certain things that you might read on their calendar or on how to register, you'll always have to register through me as a dual enrollment student. You know, as a regular college student, halfway through the semester, if things go south, if you get sick or you just get behind, and your grade starts to drop, as a college student, you could choose to withdraw or drop that class. As a dual enrollment student, you don't have that option, unfortunately. So after that first week, you are in that class irregardless throughout the semester. So whatever grade you earn will be on your college transcript as well as your high school transcript. So those kinds of things are just really important. You have to understand they have a different calendar than we do here at the school district. So the Dr. Stirk did a really good job of kind of trying to explain all of those differences through what being a dual enrollment student is. And then when we register you, we'll always use the DocuSign, guys. So don't try to choose courses by yourself. You will have holds on your account. So once you apply, once we have your test score, then you'll connect with me and we'll go ahead. I'll teach you how to look for courses each semester and how to complete the registration form. So we'll do all of that together. So again, like I said, you know, there's definitely a lot of advantages to doing dual enrollment, but there are some potential disadvantages. So if you will join me on Wednesday, the 29th, I'll have 2 sessions. I'll do a noon, afternoon, and a 6 p.m. And that information will be coming out soon. Those students really need to be very motivated, which most of our virtual kids are. You need to be resourceful. You need to be an advocate. So yeah, so there's a lot of potential good things with dual enrollment, and the majority of my kids, I'd say 99%, are always very successful when they go out there. So do know that that is an option for you come sophomore, junior, senior year. We can talk more about that. FGCU has a wonderful early admission program. So for you guys that know that FGCU is where you want to be, they do have an accelerated college experience that is available only to juniors and seniors. So if you are a sophomore right now and you know FGCU is where you want to go and you are accelerated, you're strong academically and mature wise, do know that FGCU is an option for you. You would be an early admit student, meaning all of your courses are taken at the university. They do prefer that you are on campus. So a lot of my students will choose FSW because they do have most of their classes offered via Zoom, via online. So they do have information sessions here for you to attend if you're interested. It is part of the application. So Where are those dates? Do you have to attend orientation? Yes, you do have to attend an orientation just so they can explain the program to you. I do know that you get a stipend. So like, if you start in your junior year, I want to say you get a little bit more money than you would in your senior year. So you would need an SAT or an ACT score because this is a university, whereas FSW, the state college, we can use the AccuPlacer score. But if you are interested in applying to Florida Gulf Coast, here are some dates and times for their information sessions that are going on for this semester, and they will have additional sessions in the spring semester. The application is due mid-March. So if this is something that you want to think about, please check out the website, grab a parent or guardian, attend one of these information sessions. We would want to get you signed up and registered to take the SAT or ACT test here as soon as we could, just in case you needed to retake it again to get the cut score that you would need to get accepted. So do know that that is an option for you as well. I do have a good chunk of students, both juniors and seniors, that are out there attending the ACE program. Okay, ninth grade students, there is a scholarship that's available out there. It's only available to ninth grade students. It's called the Take Stock in Children Scholarship. It's for students that are lower income. They do have an income guide here. So like for kids who may be first generation college or university, maybe who are living with grandparents or just don't have resources that other students may have. They will get a mentor that they'll work with throughout their high school career. And once they graduate from the program in their senior year, they will get their tuition paid for at local state schools, public schools in the state of Florida. So it's a great scholarship. There is an income piece to it. So not everybody will meet the criteria, but do know if you're in the ninth grade and you are interested, I've got the link. You can always Google Take Stock in Children. It's a scholarship that's offered through the Foundation of Lee County Public Schools. So that is available for ninth grade. And I want to say that deadline is sometime, I can't remember. So the sooner the better. And if you need my help for anything, just let me know. Okay, and then there's this other website here, the Florida Shines. This is something the Department of Education pushes. It's got some pretty cool college resources, also some career searches. So it's got different kinds of levels, and I just think it's pretty cool. We don't have enough time to really incorporate that into any kind of curriculum, but know that floridashines.org is a resource that's out there. If you want to create an account, play around, do some interest inventories, check out some of the state schools. It's a pretty cool program. Okay, second semester, we are rolling right along. The majority of you, from what I can see, are on pace. Do know, reminder, just a friendly reminder, semester 2 begins January 12th, which means that you do need to be complete with your courses before January 10th. Many of you guys are on track. Some of you I see are already more than halfway done with your semester. Remember that you just need 6 classes each year. So if you're taking a class, say driver's ed, and you finish that class tomorrow, you don't need to pick up another class for this semester. You just need to have 6 classes each semester. And if you work ahead, again, you don't need to pick up any other classes. As long as you have 6 each year, each semester, you're in good shape. So if you are in a semester course and you haven't let me know what second semester course you want to take, we'll be going over that. I'll be sending out a link before the start of semester 2, or you can email me if you want to discuss your schedule. But again, remember, as you rise up through the years, you will always need 6 classes. We have different platforms. We've got eDynamics now, we've got Google Classrooms and things. So if you check your Focus account, Focus will be the best place for you to make sure that you do have the 6 classes that you need each semester. So again, the majority of you guys are doing amazing. Keep up the good work. It's been quite a year, couple years, and you guys are hanging tough and doing a great job. So second semester will be here before we know it. The holidays are right around the corner. Okay, now I'll just open this up to any kind of general questions for you that you might have. And again, no, I'm available. Find this segment, is it okay? Emma, yeah, I can't remember your situation, but yeah, if we've had conversations, sometimes some of you will do 1 full credit in a semester. And so it kind of gets a little bit hairy because some of you guys are so advanced and work ahead. So yeah, 6 classes, Emma, you're fine. Any other questions? All right, guys. Well, you know how to find me. I'm available if you need anything. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a great turnout, and I hope you have a great day.